Hello everyone. Yesterday I could not upload the video because of heavy rainfall in my area. So I am recording it today. So let's start with the third chapter, that is tension, compression and shear. Okay. So I am waiting for few seconds. Let everyone join. And first I will teach the theory, then I will go through the numericals from that MEDISI 4400 question book. Okay, so please answer the questions in the comment section below so that I can have an understanding how much you are getting it right or wrong. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start the third chapter. So before that, I will move on to discuss few theory. Okay. So tension, compression, shear. Three words. Let us describe these words: tension, compression, and shear. See, this is a prismatic bar. Okay. So, and this is the longitudinal axis. Okay. So if load is acting like this, so this is called tension acting on this bar. If load is acting in opposite direction, then compression in this bar. And when load acts perpendicular to this longitudinal line like this or this, it is said to be in shear, or it will cause shear in this section or this section of the bar. So these are the three words, but before proceeding, I want to discuss the main loading on which the full strength of material chapter depends. Okay, so there are basically four types of load. Four types of standard load. Okay, which comes into picture everywhere. What are they? First one is axial load, then bending, then twisting, then shear force. These two comprise of normal stresses, that is sigma, and these two comprise will give or produce shear stresses, that is tau. Okay. So axial load, bending, twisting, shear. You have seen this P is axial, this is shear. Now, when twisting occurs, see, if we rotate the bar in this direction, then twisting will occur. And if we bend in this direction like this, bending will occur, or in this way. So we produce bending like this. When we twist the bar, twisting will occur. When we act a load in this way, shear will not takes place, and when we act a load like this, then axial load, either tension or compression, will take place. All this load can be divided into tension or compression. Means one is towards and one is away, like that. So these are the basically four forces on which we have to know of complete understanding before solving the numericals. Now, suppose the force is not acting along the longitudinal plane. Then what do we say that force to be? Suppose this is the longitudinal axis and force is acting like this. So this is the eccentricity E. So we say this as eccentric axial load. Or if this is the bar and this is the axis, lateral axis, and for shear force we have to act like this, but this shear force is acting away from that lateral axis with eccentricity E dash. Therefore we say this load to be eccentric transverse shear load. Okay, so these are the two another concept. For this, if we shift this load like this, we put one load here, another load here. So this load will cause tension here, but this opposite load will cause a bending. Okay, so this eccentric axial loading will cause both tension as well as bending, or both axial load as well as bending moment. This loading condition will cause, and this eccentric transverse shear load will cause both shear force, okay, and a twisting moment. Both shear force as well as twisting moment as well as variable bending due to this. Okay, so these are the categories. You have to be more confident with the type of loading system and what they will cause. So, okay, so I will show you the table. See here, this is the full table of load, axial load, shear force, bending moment, twisting moment. So type of loading, that is axial load, will cause axial loading, shear force 0, bending moment 0, twisting moment 0. Eccentric axial load with eccentricity E will cause axial load plus bending moment, which is constant. Then transverse shear load will cause shear force as well as this bending moment. Okay, and eccentric transverse shear load will cause shear force plus bending moment, which will be variable, plus a constant twisting moment. So this is the table. Please note it down in your copy, because this is very much important for further discussions. Okay, now we will cover the bars, that is composite bars in series or parallel. Okay, so we will quickly note it down, the formulas, and then we will proceed how to solve that. See here, the deformation, that is delta, caused by prismatic bar. Prismatic bar means bar which has uniform cross section, called prismatic bar. That means if this dia is D, uniformly diameter is D, and this is tapered bar. That means here dia is D1 and here dia is D2. D1 here and D2. So for here, delta prismatic means if we apply a load P and here also a load P, then the change in length, that is delta or deformation, will be given as 4PL. Okay, 4PL upon pi d square E for prismatic bar, and for tapered bar it is given as 4PL pi d1 d2 upon d1 d2 E. Okay, so this is the case. Two cases here, two formulas. You have to remember this formula. Now, quickly going through the bars in series and parallel. Okay, so this one is the bar in series. Three bars, P1, P2, P3. So for this type of problem, we have to proceed from either side, either from right side or left side. Okay, if we proceed from right side, then this bar P1, same force you have to give here, and for this bar, since here zero, no force is applied in this section, so again opposite P1 will be there, and here to equate this, we have to give another P1 here. Okay, now for this we have to draw it separately, and here P1 is already given, but total we have to make it P3. So for making it that, we will get P3 plus P1 in this direction. Okay, and here P3 plus P1. Same, you have to apply same load both the sides. Okay, so by this, using this, we solve the formulas, we solve this type of numericals. Now in parallel, two types of, or we can say it as composite bars. Here one cylindrical bar of one material, and this is a second material. If load is acted, so due to the difference in E value in both materials, the deformation value will, since they are acted in parallel, the deformation means the deformation caused by this load will be same. Delta 1 must be equal to delta 2. So we will get one relation from here, and another relation will be the stresses acting. Stresses acting will be different because of the area in contact with the load. So for one case, suppose P1 load is there, for another case P2 load is there, and area is A1 and A2. So that will differ. P1 plus P2 will be P, total load. Okay, so one equation, two equation, we will solve the this type of numericals. Next we will cover the thermal stresses. Very important topic, thermal stresses. Okay, before that, let us cover the elongation of bar due to self weight. Please note, I am only sharing the formula, otherwise the lecture will be very lengthy. So go through the derivations once from any of the book you follow. So elongation due to self weight of prismatic bar. See, load P, the self weight is W. Elongation due to self weight. Here the self weight is W, the length is L, and the area is A, Young's modulus E. Now, since W equal to the density into the volume of the bar, okay, so density remains constant for the bar throughout, and volume. So for a length x, we consider the dx element. In doing this, we get the elongation at point A comes out to be integration 0 to L density into volume is the mass into G. Sorry, here one G is missing. Density into volume into G. Okay, density into volume will give the mass and into G. Okay, so this will give the weight. Okay, so integration 0 to L rho G x dx upon E. How we get this? We have the formula like delta L equal to PL upon AE, where P is the load applied, here P is W. So delta L equal to WL upon AE when a load is applied, but due to self elongation, delta L at point A will comes out to be, on solving this equation, will comes out to be WL upon 2 AE, or in terms of rho G, it can be written as rho G L square upon 2E. So this equation and this equation, both you have to remember, in different occasion different equations are used. So delta L due to self elongation of prismatic, self weight of prismatic bar, the elongation is this, and when a load is applied, then this is the elongation. Okay, this is for the prismatic bar, and for tapered bar due to conical bar. Okay, for conical bar the self weight is elongation due to self weight. So delta at point, this is A. So delta at point A is given out to be rho g L square upon rho g L square upon 6E. Okay, you have to remember in this form. So rho g L square upon 6E. So we are done with this. Now moving on to thermal stresses. Just a minute. So for thermal stresses, see here. If alpha is the coefficient of thermal expansion, so alpha is given as delta N upon L delta T. Delta L is change in length, delta T is change in temperature. So delta L, from this equation we get that delta L equal to L alpha delta T. Okay. So here the strain is given as alpha delta T. Strain is delta L upon L. It is given as alpha into delta T, and the stress, that is sigma, is given out to be the stress, that is sigma T, is given out to be, we have to multiply delta L upon L with epsilon. So epsilon alpha delta T will be the strain due to rise in temperature or fall in temperature. This is the strain and this is the stress, and this is the strain. So and this is the Young's modulus of the material on which temperature is applied. So thermal stress means when temperature is applied to the material, they will elongate or compress depending on the situations they are going through. So these are the cases. Now if a block is heated and it is free in its environment, it is freely placed and heated, so it will expand in the free space and gain a new shape and size. So the stresses will be evenly distributed everywhere, so no residual stress or thermal stress will be developed. Okay, so no residual stress or thermal stress will be developed in this case. But if the bar is fixed from both sides and is not able to move, then when temperature rises, it will try to expand, but this wall will hold them, and the stress, thermal stress, will be developed in the bar, which will be compressive in nature. Okay, so this way thermal stresses act. If the object is free to be settled in the space, so no stresses will be developed, but if they are restricted in that space, stresses will be developed. And another case that is very common in GATE exam, that a bar is there and a given space is provided to expand, but here again another wall is present. So it will expand, and after that when extra heat is given, then the thermal stresses will come into picture. But no stresses will be developed until the expansion in this region. Okay. So this is the case. Now for 3D, if a cube and all sides of the cube is fixed, means they are not allowed to expand. So for this case, the thermal stresses that will be developed, all sides are fixed. The cube is not allowed to expand, and if delta T rise in temperature takes place, then the sigma T comes out to be E alpha delta T upon 1 minus 2 mu. You have to remember this formula for a 3-dimensional object, that is cube. Okay, why? Because if one sigma T is developed in this region, suppose here, so mu times this strain will come into picture in y direction, and mu times the strain will come into picture in z direction. So 2 times mu. See, here you can see that question number 9 in chapter 1 is very important. I told you in the first class. So from that concept, this is the formula sigma T. Okay. So now we covered the theory. Now we will go to solve the numericals. So let's start solving numericals, and on the way, if more theory is required, I will show you. So let's move on to solve question. Question number 1. Sorry, question number 82, chapter 3. Please comment your answer as we solve the questions. So tension, compression, shear, first question. A steel bar rectangular cross section 20 cross 50 carries a tensile load P and is attached to a support by means of a round pin of diameter 20 mm. The allowable stresses for the bar in tension and the pin in shear are sigma allowable 150 MPa and tau allowable 75 MPa respectively. What is the maximum permissible value of load P? We are asking what can be the value of load P so that both can withstand that load. So this is a good question. So let's see how to solve this question. First let me note down the values. See, it's given that sigma allowable for bar is 150 and shear allowable for pin is 75. Okay, and the cross section is given for the bar to be 20 cross 50. So this is 50, here 20. Okay, and for the pin it is of diameter 20. Okay. So this is the question number 82. So this is the case. See, 50, 20, this is 20, and this is the pin. So here long of the pin is shown here. See, question number 82. Now we have to find the allowable load. Load is here acting P. So here also P. See here the pin is supported with the two hanging walls. Okay. So when P is applied, the shear stress will act in this wall and in this wall. Okay. So for pin, the load will be given as stress into area. So area will be 2 times because here 1, here 1. So 2 area into tau allowable for the pin. So we get one load P1, and from here, from the bar, see the weakest section is this one. Okay. So we have to consider the volume of this. How we consider? See here, this is 20, so the rest part will be 50 minus 20, that is 30. So 30 into 20 will be area of this weakest section. So area of the weakest section, so therefore P2 will comes out to be area of the weakest section, that is 30 into 20 into the sigma allowable, that is 150. Okay, so this is your pi by 4 d square, and tau allowable is 75 megapascal. So the answers comes out to be, you solve, you calculate, and answer is option B. See, I am showing the slide. Yes, option B is 47, and this comes out to be 47 for pin, and this you have to calculate 5, it comes out to be 75. 6, yes. is comes out to be 90. Sorry, 90 megapascal and then 47. So 47 is the minimum P that if we apply the pin will break. So 47 will be 47 kilonewton will be right answer. Okay. So like this you have to solve taking the minimum cross section and the weakest section of the link. Either bar or pin. Here pin is the weakest section. So similarly we design taking the weakest section into consideration. So moving to next question, question number 83. The temperature stress is the function of, yes, please comment the answer. Temperature stress is the function of coefficient of linear expansion, temperature rise, modulus of elasticity, Poisson's ratio. The temperature stress sigma T is given as E alpha delta T. So E alpha delta T. E is modulus of elasticity, alpha is coefficient of linear expansion, delta T is temperature rise. So 1, 2 and 3. Option C is correct. Question number 83, option C. Yes. The next question. Question number 84. See here a rod of variable cross section. 84. A rod of variable cross section A1 A2 fixed at one end and subjected to axial force P as shown below. If the allowable normal stress in tension is 100 megapascal, then the maximum allowable load is. So maximum allowable load they are asking. So it will be definitely for here. See for this case there are two bars in series. Okay, for first bar we apply load P here. So P divided by area will be the stress. So allowable stress is given to be 100 megapascal. So for this 100 into area will give you P1, and for this 100 area is 1 meter square. So 100 into this area will give you another P. So obviously we will take the minimum of that. So 100 into 0.5, that is 50 meganewton will be the answer. It is asked in DRDO 2010. So 84 answer will be C. When you calculate, you will get 50 meganewton. So it's very easy question. You can solve it orally. Next question, question 85. The straight bar having a constant cross section area A, length L, weight W hanging vertically. If E is the Young's modulus of elasticity of the material, total increase in length of the bar due to its own weight. Again, direct formula based question. Total self elongation is given to be, yes, please comment the answer. WL upon 2AE. Yes, option A. 85. Correct answer is option A. Very good. So next question. See, these are straightforward questions. 86. In a composite system subjected to temperature rise with end constant to remain together, the component having lower value of coefficient of linear expansion will experience a. It's a very good and conceptual question. Question number 86 is very conceptual. See, I am showing you in my copy how to solve question number 86. It is said that is a composite bar. So, composite bar is bar within another bar. Okay. So, like this. So, bar in parallel, like this. Bar within another bar is composite bar. So, it is fixed on, it is constant. Okay. So, if the temperature is raised and this is number 1, this is number 2 with different elasticity E1 and E2 because both are different material. So, if alpha is more, then the elongation delta L equal to L alpha delta T. So, for more the alpha, more will be the elongation. Suppose one elongates more, so it tries to go forward, but this one elongates less. But they are in compound, they are compounded together. So this will pull the first one. The second one will pull the first one. So the second one due to first one will experience a tension. But second one due to first one experience a tension. But first one due to second one is experience a compressive force. Okay, so what is the question? In a composite system subjected to temperature rise with n constant to remain together, the component having lower value will experience. So the lower value will be, we have in our case we are considering is 2. So lower value will experience a tension. Okay. So tensile stress, option A. 86, answer is option A. Lower value will experience a tension force or tensile stress. Okay. So move on to next question. Question number 87. All the following statements are correct except you have to find which is false. Thermal stresses are set up when any deformation arising from change in temperature is prevented. Next is free a member free to expand or contract due to rise in temperature is not subjected to any stress. For a composite bar of different material of equal length, the deformation per unit length, that is strain, is equal in the bar. And the last one is each member of the composite bar is subjected to load equal to the total external arrangement. See here, for composite bar, I have discussed that load is divided in P1 and P2, and the deformation delta 1 is equal to delta 2. The option C is correct, and option B is also correct, because when free to expand or contract, there is no stresses, thermal stresses will arise. So for option A, thermal stress is set up when there is a change in temperature is prevented. Yes, when deformation is prevented, then the stresses develop. So option A is correct, B is correct, C is correct. So correct answer for this question is option D. Okay, we have to figure out the false statement. So option D is correct. 87 option is option D. So moving on to next question, question number 88. In your screen, please comment the answers. A steel rod passes through a brass tube. Steel rod passes through a brass tube which is closed by a thin rigid washer and fastened by nut screwed to the rod. Which type of stresses will be induced in the tube when the nut is tied to the bolt? Okay. So the case is steel rod passes through brass tube. So steel rod now is in position 2 and the brass tube is in position 1. Now when we tighten from both sides, so the steel rod, that is the inner side, it will be pulled because of the fastening of nut, and the brass tube will be compressed because we are fastening the nut towards the brass tube, and steel rod will be pulled outward. So steel rod will experience tension and the brass rod will experience compression. Okay, so here they are asking what type of stress will be induced in the tube when the nut is in the tube, that is brass tube. Obviously the answer will be compressive. Okay, 88 option B is correct. 88 option B. Good question. Now next question, question number 89. Two wires of different material but of same diameter are connected end to end and a force is applied. Okay, force is applied which stretches them by 1 centimeter. The two wire will have. So they are of different material but of same diameter. So obviously strain, see, stress is delta L upon L, and which is given by PL upon AE is delta L. The P by AE is the strain. Okay, P by AE. So here load is same, P is same, by area is also same, and but they are of different material. So please comment this question. Same strain but different stresses, or stretched them by 1 centimeter. Yes, in the question there are strain is given same. So obviously E is different, so stresses will be different. Same stress and different strain. So two wires of different material but of same diameter are connected end to end and a force is applied which stretches them by 1 centimeter. Okay, the two wire will have of question number 89. So option B is correct here. Same stress but different strain. As strain will be different delta L upon L and stress that is P by A. Load is same, area is same. So P by A is same for both the materials. So option B is correct. Okay. Next question, question number 90. A steel wire of section area is given to be extended to twice its initial length. Okay, delta L is given, area is given, E is given. So what should be the force? A very easy question. Delta L equal to PL upon AE. So very easy question. You can solve it by your own. The correct answer is option A. Okay. Use the equation and solve. Now next question, question number 91. A steel rod of length 2 and diameter D fixed at both ends is uniformly heated to a temperature rise of delta T. The Young's modulus E and coefficient of fixed at both ends. Okay, where thermal expansion is alpha. Then thermal stress. Obviously, thermal stress is E alpha delta T. Okay, E alpha delta T. Question number 91. Option is C. Is direct formula based question. Again, another formula based question. A member having L cross section A E. The strain energy. Yes. So strain energy. Let me give you the formula of strain energy. See, strain energy formula is half into load into deformation. Okay, so half into W into delta L. Okay, so half into W into WL upon AE. So half W square L upon AE is the strain energy due to when load is applied. Okay, so what is asking? A member L cross section A, modular velocity E, the strain energy is. So direct formula based question, W square L upon 2 AE, option C. Question number 92, option C. W square L upon 2 AE is the answer. Question number 93. A straight bar having a constant cross section area A, length L, weight W is hanging vertically. E is the Young's modulus. Then total increase in length of the bar due to its own weight. Total increase in length means delta L is asking. So obviously due to its own weight, again direct formula based question. Question number 93 is option is A, WL upon 2AE. Direct formula based question of a prismatic bar asked in DRDO 2009. Next question, question number 94. A solid metal bar of uniform diameter and length L hangs vertically from a ceiling. If the density of the material is or the bar is rho and modulus of elasticity is E, then the total elongation due to self weight. Yes, total elongation due to self weight is rho L square upon 2E. Okay, so here density is rho, so total elongation due to self weight will be rho L square upon 2E. We have seen that in our formulas. Okay, rho L square upon 2E will be the option. 94, option B is correct. Question number 95. The deformation of the bar under its own weight as compared to that when subjected to a direct axial load equal to. So we have to find the ratio of the deformation under its own weight and when direct axial load is applied. So obviously the using the formula, first one will be WL upon 2AE and divided by WL upon AE. So half will be the answer. 95 option C. 95 option C is correct. So 96. Let's move on to question number 96. See a tapered bar of D1 and D2 and uniform cross section bar with diameter D having the same length and subjected to same axial pull. Both the bars have same extension. If everything is same, then extension is same. That is deformed. Delta L is same. So delta L for prismatic bar was, what was the formula of delta L of prismatic bar? 4PL upon pi d square E, and for tapering bar will be 4PL upon pi d1 d2 E. When everything is same and the difference is in diameter, so after cutting we get d square equal to d1 into d2 and d equal to root under d1 d2. So 96 option B is correct. Please solve it by your own directly using the formulas. These are direct formula based questions. So moving on, next question 97. The elongation of the conical bar under its own weight equal to, it will be 1/3. Informative question, please write it down. It will be 1/3 of the prismatic bar. Okay. Question number 97, option will be C. 1/3 of the prismatic bar of same length. Okay, so next question. Because you have noticed in the formula, denominator was 1/6 and for prismatic bar was 1/2. So 1/3 will be the answer. Next question, question number 98. A 100 mm into 5 mm steel bar free to expand is heated from 15 to 40. What shall we induce in the bar after heating? Free bar. So no stresses will develop. Whenever free word comes in the question of thermal stresses, always be remember that no stresses will be developed. So much information given, but answer is no stresses. Option D. 98 option D. So these questions are very easy. We are solving orally. Next question, question number 99. Rod of material with E 200 into 10 power 3 megapascal and alpha given is fixed at both ends. It is uniformly heated. That increases the temperature is 30 degree. So the stress is developed. Again, direct formula based question. This time it is fixed both ends. So stresses will be developed because no space for free expansion. So stresses will be developed and the formula will be E alpha delta T. E is given, alpha is given, delta T is 30 degrees centigrade. So on multiplying, we will get question number 99, option B, 600 Newton per millimeter square, and it will be compressive in nature. Why? Because ends are fixed. So bar tries to move away from the wall, but wall pushes. So a compressive stress is developed in the bar. Question number 100. A cube having each side of length A is constrained in all direction is heated. So very important question. I have given the formula uniformly. So temperature is raised to T degree centigrade if alpha is thermal coefficient of expansion of cube material and E is the modulus of elasticity. Then the stresses developed in the cube is direct formula. You have to remember for cubical bar. Okay, so answer is option B, 100 option B, alpha Te upon 1 minus 2 mu. Okay, so question number 100 option B is correct. You have to remember this formula. Sometimes direct numerical asked in gate examination. So 101, steel rod of 300 mm is held between two fixed supports so that rod cannot elongate or contract in axial direction. If temperature rise is given, then the axial stress induced. Again, same question asked in DRDO. You have to calculate E alpha delta T to find the axial stress. E is given, alpha is given, delta T is 20. Okay, so direct formula based question option will be B, 46 megapascal compressor. Asked in DRDO 2009. The direct formula based question asked in examination with this topic. This topic is easy. Okay. The next question 102. A bar having cross-section area of 700 mm square is subjected to the axial load at a position indicated. So again, similar, we have to find the value of stress. Stress this time we have to use the formula load upon area. So on which face it? For the bar segment QR, for QR. From this side is 21. Also there also when we separate this bar, we are separating from right side. Okay. Then any side you can do the force separation. So separating RS from this bar, we get this side 21 and this side also we have to equate it 21, so that balanced force is balanced. So when we equate this side 21, so 49 minus 21 we get at 28. So 28 in tension, here also 28 tension, but when coming to this 63 tension, 63 tension. So we have to find the stress for QR. So QR will be 28 upon 700. So option A 102, option A 28 upon 700 is 40 megapascal. 102, option A. 103, a bar of 20 mm diameter is tested in tension. It is observed that when a load of 30 kN is applied, the extension measured over the gauge length 200 is given and the contraction of diameter is given. So Poisson's ratio. Yes, good question asked in ISRO 2009. Again a easy question. Poisson's ratio given by lateral strain to longitudinal strain with a negative sign, and lateral strain is given out to be minus 0.0036 divided by 20 and longitudinal strain given out to be plus 0.12 divided by 200. Okay, so on dividing both we get the answer as 103b 0.3. So divide that, we get a positive value 0.3. Okay, so do it yourself. 103. Next question 104. If all the dimensions of a prismatic bar or square cross section suspended freely from the ceiling of a rod of a roof are doubled, then total elongation produced by its own weight will be. So again, total elongation produced by its own weight. So we see here this and formula rho L square upon 2E. Okay. So when everything is doubled, L is doubled, so rho is same, 2 is same, E is same. So when L is doubled, so answer will be 4 times. So 104 answer will be 4 times. The increase will be 4 times. Option B. 104 option B. 105. A round bar made of same material consists of 3 parts, each of 100 mm length and diameter 40, 50, 60 mm respectively. If the bar is subjected to axial load of 10 kN, total elongation. So again, this is a important question. As you can see, the options are large, but no need to worry because this question is directly solved. These are the bars of prismatic bars of length 100 mm and diameters given. Okay, and the load is 10 kilonewton. So using load as 10 and the formula as 4 PL upon pi d square E, using that you will get the options. Oh, wait, the D are 4, 5 and 6. Okay. So 1 by 16, 1 by 25, 1 by 36 are common. So you have to calculate 4 PL upon pi E. So P is how much? P is 10 and L is 100 millimeter. So 0.1. So 4 upon pi E. 105 into 10. So 40 upon pi E into 1 by 16 plus 1 by 25. Okay, so option D. 105 option will be D. Simply you have to do 4 PL upon pi E into 1 by d1 square plus 1 by d2 square plus 1 by d3 square. Bas, this much you have to do. So 105 solved. 106. The question is looking so huge, but the answer is very easy. You know. Let us read the question. Always it is seen that if the question is too much lengthy, the answer will come in small by solving a good concept. So two identical circular rods of same diameter and same length are subjected to same magnitude of axial tensile force. One of the rod made out of mild steel have modulus of elasticity 206 gigapascal. The other rod made is cast iron and having a modulus of elasticity 100 gigapascal. Assume both the material to be homogeneous, isotropic, and axial force caused the same amount of uniform stresses in both the rods. The stresses developed are within the proportional limit. Oh, such a long question. Our respective material, what will be following observation is correct. Both the rod elongates by same amount. Mild steel rod elongate more than cast iron. Cast iron rod elongate more than mild steel. As the stresses are equal, strain are also equal in both the rods. So comment the answer. My energy is lost by reading this long question. 106. Okay. So how to find elongation delta L? It's given that E is given. So PL upon AE. सब कुछ सेम है तो जिसका E ज़्यादा होगा उसका elongation कम होगा. तो ऑब्वियसली कास्ट आयरन का E कम है तो उसका elongation ज़्यादा होगा. तो ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट. कितना आसान क्वेश्चन है. एक का फॉर्मूला डेल्टा एल इक्वल टू पी एल अपॉन ए ही लगाएं, बस हो गया काम खत्म. ई सब कुछ सेम है तो ई चेंज होगा तो डेल्टा एल इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू ई. जिसका ई ज़्यादा होगा उसका डेल्टा एल कम होगा. तो ऑब्वियसली कास्ट आयरन elongation मोर देन माइल्ड स्टील. ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट. 106 ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन 107. A uniform cylinder. So 106 is important, 105 is important, 107 is also very important. Uniform cylinder rod is made up of homogeneous and isotropic material. The rod rests on a frictionless surface. The rod is heated uniformly if the radial and longitudinal thermal stresses are represented by sigma and sigma z. Okay. So the radii is sigma r and it is sigma z. Okay. So what will be the stresses? The rod rests on frictionless surface. This is the main line. Means it rests freely. Okay. When it is rest freely, जितना भी टेम्परेचर बढ़ा लो स्ट्रेस उसमें डेवलप नहीं होगा क्योंकि वो फ्रीली एक्सपैंड कर जाएगा. Okay. So the answer will be 0 and 0. Sigma r 0, sigma z 0. 107 option A. Conceptual question, must remember this. Question number 108. A brass bar, solid section. So ऊपर steel है, अंदर brass है. Okay. So let's see the options. What are the options? So coefficient of steel is given and alpha of brass is also given. The composite bar is heated. Delta T is given. Now what are the statement? So obviously whose alpha is more? Alpha of brass is more. Okay. So alpha of brass is more means brass will elongate more. So brass is inside. Okay. It will elongate more. So it will cause tension in for steel and steel will cause compression for brass. Okay. So steel will be in tension and the brass will be in compressive stress. So option 2 and 4 matches. So option C is correct. 2 and 4 are right. The stress in steel will be tensile and the stresses in brass will be compressive. So 108 option C is correct. Okay. Only few questions left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Only 5 more questions. So another very good question asked in IAS pre 2001. So I will show you the stresses in three dimensions when we will cover the stress strain chapter, when questions will be solved. And these two questions, 109 and 110, when the three dimensional equation will be written, then you can solve it easily. But I am giving you the answer right now, so you can relate in that chapter. So here 109, since it is uniform and lying in x direction and they represent the strain variation when bending moment is about z axis. So bending moment is about z axis, the strain variation will be same everywhere. Okay, as bending moment about z axis, strain variation will be same everywhere. Answer will be option C. Much more detail we will talk in stress strain chapter. Okay. So question number 110. So this equation also we will talk in that chapter, because here sigma epsilon x, this one, there here we will get gamma xy upon 2, here gamma xz upon 2, this is epsilon y, this is epsilon z, and rest follows. So what we require here, tau xy. So how to get tau xy? If we get gamma xy, so here gamma xy upon 2, it's 0.004 upon 2, that is 0.002. Okay, so sorry, gamma xy upon 2 is 0.004, so gamma xy is 0.008. Okay, gamma xy known, we have to find tau xy. How we find? We have the value of z. So g is 100 gigapascal. Modulus of rigidity is shear stress upon shear strain. Tau xy upon gamma xy. Gamma xy into g will give you tau xy. So 800. So 110 will be option C. 0.008 into 100 gigapascal. So 800 megapascal will be answer of 110. Question number 111. So a bar of circular cross section varies uniformly from cross section 2D to D. Okay, 2D to D means this is tapering bar. If extension of the bar is calculated treating it as a bar of average diameter, then the percentage error. Okay, you have to see this in copy. It's given that the changes from 2D to D. So and average diameter D1 will be 2D plus D upon 2, that is 1.5 D. So the percentage error, first it is conical tapered, then it is prismatic with average diameter. Okay, so let's see the in my copy. Okay, so here 2D and D like this. So here delta is 4 PL upon pi D1 D2 upon E, and when average diameter, this is D1, capital D1. So here delta 2, this is delta 1. Delta 2 is 4 PL upon pi D1 square upon E. Here D is 2D and capital D. So 4 PL upon pi 2 capital D square E, and here D1 is 1.5. So 4 PL upon pi 1.5 square is 2.25 D square E. So taking the percentage error is given as 1 minus initial divided by final, initial delta 1, final delta 2. Okay, so 1 minus delta 1 by delta 2, you will get out delta 1 by delta, sorry, final minus initial percentage error. It will be 1 minus delta 2 upon delta 1. Okay, final divided by initial. So it will be initial minus final divided by initial. So it will be 2 divided by 2.25. So answer will comes out to be option. This is with 111. Okay. Option A, 10%. The answer is coming out to be 11.1%, but the closest option is option A, that is 10%. 10% is the change. So question number 111 is option A, 10% is the error. Next question 112. Two more questions to go for ending this chapter. 112, similar question as 111. So the tensile test bar found tapered from D plus A to D minus A. Then the error involved using the mean diameter to calculate. Okay, similar question as 111. Solve it by yourself. Solve yourself. Okay, this question 112. Next, last question 113. An axial load bar is subjected to a normal stress of 173 megapascal. So the shear stress in bar. See, nothing is given, only normal stress is given. So here we will apply the shear stress theory. Shear stress theory says that shear stress equal to normal stress divided by 2. Okay. So answer will be 173 upon 2, 86.5 megapascal. So with this, I have completed chapter 3. So please write the notes and important formulas to solve this question. I hope you like this video. If you like, do share, subscribe and comment. So we will meet in next video. Till then, bye bye. Okay.